This old-time radio program was originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity. We hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to this, one of the all-time favorite shows.
This is Inland Palladi, and you are listening to White Station Theater on the Air. Theater on the Air would like to remind you to stay home, social distance, and wash your hands. Now, please enjoy White Station Theater on the Air's performance of
Gunsmoke! Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for, and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and makes a man watchful, and a little lonely.
Oh, Anastasia, my darling, say you will be mine.
No, Charles, I could never marry you.
But why? I have wealth, position, a new 57 car.
That's just why I won't marry you, Charles. Your 57 car is so old-fashioned and boxy looking. It's been outmoded by the 57 swept-winning Dodge.
But Anastasia, I got such a bargain deal on that car.
Oh, Charles, there's no such thing as a bargain deal on a 57 car that isn't really new.
Oh, but Anastasia.
Has your car got a torsion air ride?
No.
Twin set headlights?
No.
Swept wing styling?
Well, no. Only Dodge has all that.
You paid for a new car, but you didn't get one.
Oh, marry me anyway.
Not until you get a new Dodge.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, Charles, adjust your wig.
Shall we dance, darling?
Yes. Turn on Lawrence Welk.
Hey, Doc.
Hello, Chester.
Come on over and sit down.
Well, I guess it won't hurt for a minute or two, just to sit down.
Might as well be sitting out here on the street as loafing around in your office.
Oh, is that so? Well,
Now, wait a minute. Didn't mean nothing, Doc. I wasn't even thinking.
I can believe that. What's bothering you, Chester?
It's Mr. Dillon.
What?
Really worried about him, Doc.
You are? Why?
Well, look here. It's near dark and he ain't even showed up yet. I don't know where he is.
I think Matt can take care of himself, Chester.
Sure, but usually he leaves a note or something, Doc.
A man doesn't have to do things the same way all the time.
I know that.
Now, for instance, it's like Mr. Hull the other day. She came to ask me how to get her baby to sleep at night. Now, for example, what would you have told her?
Oh, Doc.
Now, you think, Chester, after all, you were a baby once. How'd your mother get you to sleep?
He didn't have no trouble.
Well, the usual way is to rock the baby. But you know what I told Miss Hull to do?
Doc, I really ain't interested in babies.
You're gonna hear anyways. I told her to take the baby and smear its little fingers with thick molasses.
What?
Yes, and then I told her to give it a half a dozen chicken feathers.
Well, what for?
Well, I figure it'd pick the feathers from the hand till it fell asleep. And then, if it woke up again, all she had to do was give it some more molasses and feathers.
Seems to me that'd only make the little baby mad.
Oh, mad. This shows you how much you know about babies, Chester.
Oh my goodness gracious. Can we talk about something else, Doc?
Certainly. You start something this time.
Wait a minute. That's Mr. Dillon,
Where?
riding up the street there, leading that horse with the pack on it.
Oh, yes.
Doc, look.
What?
There ain't no pack he's got tied on that horse.
No. No, that isn't.
That's a man. A dead one.
Yes.
Who do you suppose it is?
Well, I don't know.
Mr. Dillon!
Hello, Chester. Doc?
Hello, Matt.
Who you got there?
Mel Hornby.
Mel Hornby?
I went out to ask him some questions about that sod buster that got murdered last month.
Oh, Jake Reeves?
Yeah, but Hornby took offense and tried to kill me.
You think he had something to do with the Reeves murder, Matt?
He did it, Doc. He admitted it just before he died.
Big rancher like old Mel Hornby killing a poor half-starved little homesteader?
They had an argument about something, and Hornby's temper got the best of him. The way it did today.
But how come you brought the body to Dodge, Matt? I should think Miss Hornaby would want him out there.
I didn't find him at home, Doc. He was way out in the prairie, handling some stock. I get a wagon in the morning and take him back.
I don't envy you. Old Mrs. Hornaby's a pretty mean woman.
I know.
You'd better let Chester do that. She can't blame him for everything.
Nah, I'll do it, Doc. I killed him.
Thorough relief. Thorough relief. Take Haley's M.O. for thorough relief. Haley's M.O. is far different from ordinary laxatives, which act only in the lower intestinal tract. They give only half the relief you need, for they do nothing for the acid upset, which usually accompanies irregularity. But Haley's M.O. is the best laxative ever made, acts in 2 places instead of only 1. First, in your stomach. It relieves acidity, and second, where other preparations act, it relieves irregularity. That's because Haley's M.O. combines the 2 most widely approved and time-tested ingredients known, and by giving you thorough relief, it makes you feel better. Infinitely better than any ordinary preparation. What's more, Haley's M.O. is so gentle, it's recommended even for surgical patients. And hear this. Now, in addition to the popular standard form, you can get Haley's M.O. in the new flavored form, which is making a hit everywhere, especially with youngsters. So, buy Haley's M.O. Look for the big letters M.O. on the package, and whether you use the plain or flavored form, remember, take Haley's M.O. for thorough relief. Morning, Mr. Dillon.
Morning, Chester.
I hired a team and a wagon for you. It's standing outside.
Thanks.
It's near 10 o'clock already.
I'll get started directly.
There you are, Marshal.
Mrs. Hornby,
Where's my husband? You got him here?
why don't you sit down, ma'am?
I've been sitting down here since dawn, on a saddle. When my husband didn't come home last night, I figured it had to do something with you. You found him, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am, I found him.
Well, where is he? You got him in jail on some fool charge? I want to know what's going on, Marshal. Should have made you tell me when you come by yesterday.
Mrs. Hornby, your husband's dead.
What?
He tried to kill me.
You shot him?
I had to.
You killed my husband?
I wanted to talk to him about Jake Reeves, but as soon as I mentioned Reeves' name, he went for his gun. I'm sorry it happened that way, ma'am.
I don't believe you. Why would he do that? What do you care about Jake Reeves?
He killed him, Mrs. Hornby. I didn't know that, but he admitted it before he died.
Is that true?
Yes, ma'am. It's true.
Well, he should have had a trial. He'd have got off. Who cares about a man like Reeves? You murdered my husband, Marshall. He didn't have a chance against you.
He had a gun, and he tried to kill me with it, ma'am.
Too bad he didn't. But you're gonna die anyway, Marshall.
What?
I said you're gonna die. I got money. I'm gonna hire you killed.
Now wait a minute, ma'am.
$1,000. That ought to do it. And you can't stop me. There ain't a thing in the world you can do about it.
All right. Who you gonna hire?
So you can be watching for him? Or maybe go out right after him? No. It ain't gonna work that way, Marshall. It ain't one man I'm gonna hire. It's a whole army of men. You won't have a chance. Any more than my husband did. Now where's his body? I'm gonna get him buried, then go back to work on getting you killed.
More coffee, Matt?
No thanks, Kitty. I've had enough. Good dinner, wasn't it?
Matt, you're awfully calm for a man who's been threatened the way you have.
Mrs. Hornby?
Don't you think she meant what she said yesterday?
Well, I don't know what she's gonna hire an army for $1,000, but I suppose it's some kind of compliment if she thinks I'm that hard to kill.
You're not taking this very serious, Matt.
There's nothing I can do till I find out what she's up to, Kitty.
Well, maybe she's just crazy. She sure sounds like it.
Maybe.
Where did she bury him, Matt? Did she take him back to the ranch?
No. She buried him up on Boot Hill. She said if that's the way he got killed, that's the place he was gonna be buried.
Sounds like she was mad at him.
I think it was shame, Kitty. He wasn't proud of her husband getting shot down like an ordinary lawbreaker.
That's a pretty easy word for a murderer.
I don't think his killing Jake Reeves meant a thing to her, Kitty. He might have well shot a horse for all she cared.
All she cares about is herself.
Mr. Dillon? Oh, hello, Miss Kitty.
Hello, Chester. Sit down and have some coffee.
I'll sit, but there ain't no time for coffee.
What's that poster you got, Chester?
That's what I come to find you about, Mr. Dillon. I tore this poster off the board down at the depot, but there are more of them. A fellow there told me she's putting them up all over Dodge.
What?
Here, you read it.
$1,000 reward to the first man that can prove Matt Dillon is dead. He doesn't have to prove anything else. Money is in the safe at Dodge House and will be paid in cash, immediately. Signed, Mrs. Mel Hornby.
Why, Matt, she can't get by with that. You can put her in jail.
You sure can. And I'll go around and tear down the rest of them posters, Mr. Dillon.
No, Chester. No. Too many people have read them by now, Chester. And some of them are probably already thinking about it.
Then put her in jail till she takes it back, Matt. Make her print up some more saying it isn't true.
You think she'd do that, Kitty? Mrs. Hornby?
Matt, you're gonna have every greedy bum in Dodge out trying to ambush you.
Yeah, Kitty. A whole army of them. I spent the next couple of days looking over one shoulder everywhere I went, and sit with my back to the wall and keeping away from windows. And come evenings, I tried to get set somewhere before it got dark so I wouldn't have to walk past alleyways or through patches of light on the street. It strings a man tight, living that way. Too tight. I found that out one afternoon when Chester and I were sitting on the porch in front of the office.
I like the door out back, Mr. Dillon. At least there ain't nobody gonna come up to you on that way.
Good.
But wouldn't you be better off sitting inside?
Out here I can see what's going on.
You couldn't see a man with a rifle if he hid out in one of them buildings across the street.
No. And I can't dig a hole and hide in it either.
No, sir. Now look yonder at that fool kid. He's gonna run somebody down riding that way.
He's trying to ride like an Indian. Look how low he's bent.
Hey, he's got a gun in his hand.
Duck, Chester!
Oh!
Mr. Dillon!
Oh!
You hurt, Mr. Dillon?
No, he missed me, but he was shooting mighty close.
Well, you got him.
Yeah, I got him.
That kid must be crazy, riding by like that and trying to shoot you.
Yeah,
Say, you don't suppose...
I don't know, Chester. He's still alive. I'll carry him up to docks. You take care of his horse.
Yes, sir. He's awful young, ain't he?
Yeah, he's awful young. How is he, Doc?
Come on in, Matt. He's conscious now, but I don't know how long it'll last.
Is he gonna die?
You'd better hurry if you want to talk to him, Matt.
How you feeling, son?
Bad. Real bad, Marshal.
Well, Doc will take good care of you. Who are you? What's your name?
Can't tell you my name.
Well, why not?
My name don't matter.
All right, but you tried to shoot me. Why?
Reward. $1,000. We needed that money. We needed it bad.
Who needed it?
I seen you sitting there. And then I went and got my horse. I almost killed you, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did it. I'm real sorry.
Don't worry about that now. Everything's gonna be...
Ah! Marshal.
Son? Doc.
I'm right here, Matt.
He's dead.
Nobody could have saved him.
No. How old would you say he was, Doc?
Oh, 15 maybe. It's not your fault, Matt.
I killed him.
Now, Matt.
I'm going over to the Dodge House.
Mrs. Hornaby?
Yeah.
Oh, it's you. I thought it was someone come from their money.
Somebody almost did, Mrs. Hornby.
That's so.
I killed him.
You kill a lot of people, don't you, Marshal?
When I have to.
Well, maybe the next one will get you.
Maybe.
What'd you come see me for?
I thought maybe I could get you to change your mind.
What's the matter, Marshal? Getting scared?
Well, I don't enjoy knowing someone might shoot me up any minute.
Ha!
But I don't like the idea that I might have to shoot somebody any minute either.
No? Well, that wouldn't bother a man like you.
I told you, your husband tried to kill me. Don't you understand that?
I don't care about understanding it.
Do you know who you hired this afternoon?
It don't matter, except I wish he'd been a better gunman.
He wasn't a man, Mrs. Hornby. He was a boy. 15. He was poor. He needed the money for somebody else. I don't even know his name.
I thought you killed him. How do you know he did it for the money?
He didn't die right off.
Oh.
Well, how does it make you feel, Mrs. Hornby?
The next one won't be a boy, Marshal, or the one after that.
Mrs. Hornby,
What?
you're a terrible, selfish old woman.
There once was a lady named Mrs. White who burned in the kitchen light all night. She was afraid, as all folks knows, that someone would steal the Cheerios.
No need to be that careful, but Cheerios do have a way of disappearing. It's just that the Cheerios taste so good. Cheerios aren't like other cereals. Cheerios are shaped like letter O's.
That means they're toasted inside and out, so you get a toasted oat flavor and golden crispness all the way through. Lots of nourishment too, because a breakfast of Cheerios gives you the power protein of toasted oat cereal. Power protein that helps keep you feeling fit. Just try them once, just once. Cheerios, the oat cereal ready to eat.
If you know your oats, you really go for delicious, nutritious Cheerios.
That night, a drunk staggered up to me on the street. He had a gun in his hand, but I buffaloed him before he could use it and threw him in jail. Later, about midnight, it was different. A mule skinner tried to shoot me from behind a water barrel. His first shot missed, and a second later he discovered his mistake. The barrel was empty, and he died there, and nobody else seemed willing to take a chance, at least that night. The next day, about noon, Chester and I were on our way to Delmonico's, and we saw Mrs. Hornby coming up Front Street.
She's looking right at you, Mr. Dillon.
She's probably going to complain about how I treated her hired hands.
Too bad she's a woman, ain't it?
Things would be a lot different if she wasn't, Chester.
Maybe she's thought it over. Maybe she's gonna change her mind.
It'll take more than a couple of killings for that.
She doesn't seem to care at all that her husband killed old Jake Reeves. My, if she ain't the one meanest looking woman. She's waiting for us. Hello, Mrs. Hornsby.
I want to talk to you, Marshal.
All right.
I hear you killed another man last night.
The first of your men I killed was a boy, Mrs. Hornsby.
You still harping on that?
Doesn't bother you at all, does it?
He was a fool to try it.
That money meant a lot to him.
Find out who he was?
No,
Well, it don't matter.
not to you.
Marshal, I'll make you a deal.
Deal.
That's what I said. I'll withdraw the reward if you get out of Dodge, leave the country, and don't ever come back.
Why?
It's my business why.
It's beginning to bother you. All that blood that's being spilled.
Never mind that. You gonna do it?
You know, Mrs. Hornsby, you haven't thought straight since your husband got shot.
Got shot by you.
By me.
What's your answer, Marshal?
Mrs. Hornby, I hate killing. I hate it as much as you hated losing your husband. But I'm not leaving.
You sure, Marshal?
I'm sure.
Hey, mister.
Who's that?
Go see what she wants, Chester.
Yes, sir. I'm coming, lady.
You'll just kill more men if you stay here till one of them gets you.
You're the only one who can stop that, Mrs. Hornby.
Well, I ain't gonna stop. And some man that knows what he's doing will be along soon. Maybe today, Marshal.
You're not helping anybody this way.
Mr. Dillon,
Yeah.
this lady was looking for you. She drove that wagon all the way to town to find you. Near 20 miles, she says.
Oh, that's so. Well, what can I do for you, ma'am?
I don't want to bother you if you're busy, Marshal.
It's all right.
I'm looking for my boy.
Your boy.
He's gonna get himself in trouble lest I stop him. Bad trouble. I know it.
Oh, what's he planning to do, ma'am?
I'm ashamed to tell you this, Marshal, but he took his gun when he left home yesterday. There'd been talk about that $1,000 reward for you, Marshal.
How old was your boy, ma'am?
Going on 16. He doesn't know what he's doing. I've got to find him and stop him, Marshal. He's only doing it 'cause we're about to starve out there. Him and me and my little girl.
Ma'am.
Wait, Marshal. You've got to understand the boy first. Why he's doing it. My husband got killed a month ago. Shot. And since then we've been near starving to death. The boy tried, but I ain't been making it.
Excuse me, ma'am. I want to ask you something.
Why, sure.
What's your name?
Mrs. Reeves. My husband was Jake Reeves. Did you know him?
No, I didn't, but my husband, he knew him. Didn't he, Marshal?
He did?
That's what he told me.
Well, what's your name?
Never mind my name right now, Miss Reeves.
Why, I don't understand.
Marshall,
Yes, ma'am.
you were right about me being a terrible, selfish old woman. But would you do something for me?
I think so.
There'll be an envelope at the Dodge House. It'll be in your name. You know what to do with it.
Yes, ma'am. I think I know.
I'm going home now. Goodbye, Mrs. Reeves.
Goodbye. I don't understand what she was saying, Marshall.
Mrs. Reeves, you want to come to my office and I'll try to explain it to you? I'll try to explain a lot of things to you.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were Jeanette Nolan, Sam Edwards, and Helen Klebe. Parley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty.